Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going to take a closer look at the recent passing of actor Michael Madsen. He died July 3rd, age 67. A really distinctive screen presence. Our goal here is to, get past those first headlines, clarify what happened, and really explore the career of someone who, well, definitely left his mark on film.
Yeah, so when the news first broke, initial reports were saying cardiac arrest. But what's important is that his cardiologist clarified things later. The official cause was heart failure, and heart disease and alcoholism were listed as contributing factors.
Right. And importantly, no autopsy was needed. The LA Sheriff's Department, they've closed the case. So natural causes, no foul play suspected.
Exactly. And you saw this real outpouring from other actors, didn't you? Walton Goggins, Harvey Keitel, Jennifer Tilly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots of tributes. It really says something about the impact he had, on his peers.
It really does. So it's a moment to reflect. Let's unpack this a bit. Michael, he was born in Chicago. His mother, Elaine, was a filmmaker, an author.
And his father, Calvin, a World War II Navy vet. Right. And interestingly, his sisters, Virginia and Cheryl, they're both actors too. Virginia, of course, Oscar nominated for Sideways.
Yeah, quite the creative family, it seems. But Michael, he really carved out his own path, didn't he? Such a unique presence.
Totally unique. So how did he develop that kind of raw, sometimes menacing thing he had on screen?
Well, it's fascinating. I mean, across his career, decades long, he racked up something like what? Over 70 film and TV credits?
Wow, yeah.
But the breakthrough, no question, was Tarantino's first film, Reservoir Dogs.
Ah, Mr. Blonde.
Exactly. Playing Mr. Blonde, that sadistic criminal. It wasn't just that scene that you're seeing, though obviously that's unforgettable. It was the terrifying calm he brought to it.
Yes, that quietness before the violence.
Chilling.
Absolutely chilling. And it just cemented this image, a certain kind of villain you just couldn't ignore.
And that role, it really kicked off this long partnership with Tarantino, didn't it?
It did. And it's pretty wild, like you said, that it continued even with Harvey Weinstein apparently pushing back. Yeah, Madsen himself mentioned that. Said, Harvey never liked me. Something like, I think I'm only in them because Quentin stood up for me.
Right. So what was it about Madsen that, that specific intensity that Tarantino felt was so essential he'd fight for him?
Good question.
I think Tarantino saw something deeper in his delivery. It wasn't just being tough. It was conveying this unpredictable danger simmering just below the surface.
Like a coiled spring.
Exactly. That kind of raw authenticity, even playing a bad guy. That's what Tarantino seemed to grab onto, and he used it again and again.
Right. Beyond Reservoir Dogs, there was Kill Bill.
Yep. Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2, The Hateful Eight, even a part in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
But it's important, like you were saying, not to just think of him for Tarantino films.
Oh, absolutely not. That would miss so much. You see that same kind of compelling presence, but used totally differently.
Like in Thelma and Louise, he was the boyfriend, Jimmy. Quite sympathetic, actually.
Yes, exactly. He brought this surprising warmth, vulnerability even, to a role that could have been pretty flat.
Or Donnie Brasco, Sonny Black.
Right, playing the mobster Sonny Black. Again, there's that unpredictability, but also this kind of world-weary realism. It grounded the character.
Even in something really stylized like Sin City.
Yeah, he felt natural in Sin City, like he'd walked right out of the comic book panel somehow. It just worked.
So thinking about his whole journey, that unforgettable Mr. Blonde, the Tarantino connection, these other varied roles, what's the takeaway? What defines his legacy?
Well, it's not just the villains, though they are memorable. It's maybe that raw authenticity we talked about.
Yeah, he actually described the characters he played well himself, didn't he? He said something like, somebody who's not perfect, who's a little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
But you can bet your ass I'm going to do the right thing.
Which is fascinating, right? Because so many of his iconic roles were guys doing very much the wrong thing.
Oh, yeah, good point.
So you have this tension, these often brutal, dangerous characters on screen, and then his own words about wanting to play, quote, the real Michael, or characters who ultimately do right. It really makes you think, doesn't it? How do we as viewers sort of reconcile these powerful, sometimes dark screen personas with the likely more complex reality of the artists behind them?
Yeah. And what does that mean for how we remember them for their legacy?
Exactly. It leaves you wondering about that gap, that complexity behind the faces we see on screen. A lot to think about there.